welcome to another episode of So-Called Oreos podcast. And we're back after our little break. We've missed you guys all so much. I've missed recording with my lovely ladies.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That was
today.
That was a voice.
Yeah, that was a voice. I'm so sorry. It was like hot. Could you feel my hot ass breath? Could you?
Yes, I hope you could.
But my breath smells good. It's just warm because it came out of my warm body. So don't shade me.
Well, guys, we're happy we're back. And we hope you missed us because we missed you.
And we have like a little announcement, little housekeeping thing. Our lovely lady, Amari, is currently calling in.
Yes, fam. I am calling in from the great state of North Carolina. It's great. I'm in Chapel Hill. I'm getting my grad degree, so I'll be calling in from now on. It's weird not seeing everyone in front of me, though. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's also weird. It's like I'm talking to a ghost.
We have a seat open for you.
Yeah.
Aw, keep it empty just for me. Thank you.
Yeah, so Amari is leveling up. You know, doing big things.
Trying to get that degree so then I can get my bag, secure the bag, you know?
We're proud of her.
I like that.
How's North Carolina, though? Like, do you love it? Is it everything you dreamed? Is it better?
It's everything I expected in that it's like very white. But it's great. People are lovely. I've never been to such a big school, so it is very different getting used to the amount of money that is flowing through UNC and also the amount of status that is there. It's a game, and I'm just like, I have to like prep myself for it every day.
Mm-hmm. Have any specific weird or great things happened yet?
Oh, weird from the moment I got here. Great. I will keep you I'll keep you posted on that. Okay. But I love the different commentary that I get from people. It's weird coming from New York and just like being around different people all the time that like don't look like you, and then coming here and then realizing that not everyone has had that experience. So the things that come out of people's mouths are very interesting.
I feel like that's a segment that we should have on the show, the things that come out of people's mouths. Because I feel like we every episode, it's like Kia is like, why would someone say that? Why would that come out of someone's mouth? Like, I feel like that should be a new segment of like just random bullshit people have said to us.
But that is literally Kia's response. Like every time we say something, Kia's like, but why? Like, why would anyone say that?
Because literally I'm just like, who raised you? And I just cannot fathom like how that process is in people's head. I had this yesterday. Like my family member messaged me on Facebook about something like I put on the vacation photos, and then she said something, and I was just like, what would make you say that? And it's worse than it was just like something about someone's like weight. But she said it in like a way that she thought she was being funny, but it's just not funny to me. Like I'm just like, that comes off rude. And I also, again, with the weight thing, I don't get how people think they can comment on people's weight. I don't
Why
understand.
Do people feel it is necessary to comment on someone else's body?
I just don't see how that process is in your head.
I agree with you. I agree.
Any other updates though, Janae, Rachel?
No.
I mean,
not really.
None that I can share yet.
Ooh,
let's put it that way. None that I can share yet.
Sit on it.
So,
sit on the good news.
I'll let y'all know.
The universe is cooking up something good. You know what I'm saying?
Cute boy.
Ooh, cute boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to stop.
So anyway,
and pay
Kia,
attention.
what's going on in this week, this day in Black History?
Yes.
Yes, this week in Black History. Okay, October 14th, 1864, the first African-American daily newspaper, the New Orleans Tribune. Is it Tribune or Tribune?
Tribune.
Okay, cool. Was published in both French and English. So, I mean, that's pretty dope. And I think that newspaper still exists, right? I don't know.
Probably not.
Actually, I think it just got sold. So, you know, look it up. I don't know.
You know, like newspapers.
Yeah,
It's a
but
sad state.
1864 is a long time, so you know
It is.
that's pretty dope. And then October 16th, 1968, John Carlos and Tommy Smith staged the Black Power demonstration on the Victory Stand after winning the 200-meter event at the Olympics in Mexico City. Carlos and Smith,
Iconic.
I know. Carlos and Smith said they were protesting racism in America. So I think a lot of us know this, picture with the two black guys holding up the fist and the white guy. That's actually a really interesting story because the New York Times did a piece on what happened to the white guy after.
Really?
And he got like a lot of backlash going back. I think he's from South America or Australia or something. Sorry, this is a long time ago, but he like got a lot of like pushback from that and like got a lot of hatred.
Did he hold up a fist?
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
He did with them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Power to the people.
Yeah.
Wait, but why did he get backlash? That's
Because he was protesting with them.
Yeah, it's 1968.
Yeah, it's 1968. Yeah.
Yeah, not all white allies are celebrated.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting because I was like, oh, I didn't even think about like what happened to him when he went home. But yeah, so those are our 2 facts for this week in Black History.
I guess we should just dive right in.
Let's do it.
Oh, are we skipping my segment?
Oh.
I moved and y'all try to skip me?
No. Wow, Janae really tried to play Amari like that.
I'm sleepy.
No, she meant dive into Amari's segment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rachel.
Is this okay? Thank you. So I'm going to talk about Black professionals we love because, we just want to celebrate all the great people. This week, I want to highlight Saeed Jones, who is an author that just came out with his first memoir, How We Fight for Our Lives. It's a great coming of age story. At least that's what the New York Times calls it. I haven't read it yet, but it's on my reading list. He's also known for his poetry collection, which is The Prelude to Bruise. It won him the 2015 Penn Joyce Osterwell Award for Poetry and the 2015 Stonewall Book Award, which is pretty impressive. He also used to be an editor for BuzzFeed, but he recently moved to Columbus, Ohio, which I thought was interesting because he said New York was just very intense after being there for a decade, especially in today's day and age. So he just figured why not try and see what Ohio is like for him. But I just listened to a podcast. It's Been a Minute from NPR with him, and it was super interesting. So I recommend everyone listening to that episode. And he also loves Paramore. So I obviously stan.
I love that.
How old is he?
I think he's 33.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but his memoir is especially interesting because he's gay, he's Black, he grew up in the South during the 90s and early 2000s. So he probably has a ton of things to unpack in that memoir.
Yeah. I highly want to recommend Amari's Instagram for everyone because
for books.
Yes, for books. Because she does these like Instagram book reviews and the amount of like dedication that goes into each book review. And also want to shout out my girl because she reads a lot and I want to get on her level. I just get really distracted and have a hard time doing it in the
That's
city.
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, since moving here, I haven't been as good as I want to be, but I will recommend a book that I just read the other day called Red at the Bone by Jacqueline Woodson. It's a short read, just under 200 pages. And I recommended it to my dad, and he read it on a plane and said he had to stop reading because he was crying. And this man, if you saw this man,
Amari,
you would know he's not capable.
Was she on Oprah's podcast?
She may have been. She's been doing her rounds lately.
Because that title sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's super great book. But thank you for the shout out, Janae.
No problem.
I always put it out there and I'm like, I don't think anyone reads these, but I'll just keep doing it.
Nah, you never know. A lot of people don't respond, but they do. They do remember and they do interact.
Yeah.
Oh, quickly, 2 updates from our last episode. So our last episodes were music and traveling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so music, me and Rachel went to the Jonas Brothers concert.
Oh, yes. This is important.
Because we were talking about how much we love Jonas Brothers. Y'all. Okay, first of all, our seats were high as hell.
Yes.
We could not see. It was actually funny how high they were. But it was such a good time because the energy.
If it wasn't for the screens, we wouldn't have
seen
them.
But okay, the energy was so amazing. Like, it was just one of my favorite concerts. I just love the Jonas Brothers. It was like just their fans, like nostalgic. It was just everything.
And ever since the concert, I can't like stop listening to their album.
It's amazing.
It's really good.
It makes me love it more.
It's
like
really good. I listen to it every day.
What'd you say?
I said their new album was good.
Yeah, you did say that. So I had to re-listen because it took me a while to get into it, but they did a great job. First of all, they look amazing. Joe looks fine. Nick is still my number one, but
swag.
But Joe, my God, I mean, I can't. And
y'all even gonna say something about Kevin?
Kevin, he was great.
I will say something about Kevin. No, they did this little cute like them as like kids, like people playing them as kids.
Yes,
and then
I really like that.
Yeah, and then like they would walk into like the forest and then they would meet the new person and it was like Kevin was walking and then Kevin holding his 2 daughters. It was really cute. I almost cried. It was amazing. And then they were like, yeah, so like the last time we were on tour, no one was allowed to drink, but now we're like older.
They took shots.
and took shots.
They took shots.
It was amazing.
They have a
guys.
book coming out next year.
Yeah. It
on
was
my birthday.
Turn up, okay? It was.
Wait, they're coming out with a book?
Yes. 10 for 10 recommended Jonas Brothers concert. I mean, that was the most like energetic fan base I've ever
Only if
witnessed.
you're a fan. If you're not a fan,
if you're not a fan, don't
waste your
I don't
time.
know what you're doing.
I won't.
Yeah, but just for other people, 10 for 10. And also, second update, the last episode we did was traveling, right? Mm-hmm. And then I went to Dubai, y'all, and
She
India,
did.
turn up, twerk. Okay. So I totally see why. I think, Janae, you read the list of like top places for Black people to travel.
Yeah.
UAE, totally understand. That was like probably one of the first places where I didn't feel like a complete outsider. And it's just so diverse. Like, I really love it. It's like truly a melting pot. Like 80% of the people, 70 or 80% are not from Dubai. It's like really hard to meet someone actually from Dubai. And it's just like a beautiful mix of like cultures. I really loved it. And India was definitely like a new culture to be immersed in. A whole bunch of people, traffic I've like never seen before, but it was interesting and it was a good experience.
How was the food?
Food was really good. So I'm not into Indian food, but now I am.
Ooh.
It was actually some of the best food I've ever had. We went on an Indian food tour, and I don't even like chickpeas or anything, but I don't know what these people were making. Amazing. It was amazing. Like, I was just like, wow, because my dad's into Indian food and stuff. I was just like, oh, whatever.
You need to go to the Indie Kitchen.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, it's in Manhattan. It's really good.
It's like the Indian Chipotle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Their samosas are so good.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
No, you should
actually.
go.
I love Indian food.
Yeah, you would like it. And then I got like Indian spices.
Yeah, and also like if you like the Indian spices are very similar to other food spices. So like just because of how things, have traveled. So like if you like Jamaican food or you like certain other foods, there's like a crossover. So yeah.
Highly recommend.
Okay, now do we want to dive in?
We're diving in. 15 minutes in.
What was that?
I don't know. I always do these weird voices, and I forget that I do that sometimes. And then people be like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I forgot that I do that."
I do that too. Actually,
I was just about to say,
yeah, like I turn words upside down, and it's crazy because my entire family does it. Like we all do it, and then when I'm around people that I'm comfortable with, or people that I'm not even comfortable with,
especially you and your sister.
Yeah,
it's really funny. Though.
We do it a lot, and I don't know. I just like kind of forget that I'm in front of other people who don't actually know.
You can do it here.
Thank you.
This is a safe space.
It's safe. So today's show topic is Black female friendship.
Hey, woo. Air horn.
We wanted this season in general, we wanted to, bring a little bit of positivity, a little love, a little light, because some people were saying we was getting dark. So here we are with a positive topic, Black female friendship.
We will get you in your feelings, okay?
The importance of Black friendship.
Right. Y'all think it's uplifting, but we're still going to make you cry at some point.
You still gonna cry. I'm so proud of you.
I might cry.
We always cry.
I know.
Who wants to start it off? Because I got a lot to say, but like I'm gonna let y'all do your thing. If anyone else wants to.
I think that it might be cool to start off talking about like pivotal Black friendships that we've had.
Yeah.
I'll start, I guess. since I brought it up, I guess. And it's so hard because I have like so many. So I like, if I miss someone, I'm so sorry. You know, you my mains, if you my mains. Geez, this is actually hard. Because I don't know.
If you want me to start,
you can start.
Okay.
You can start. I need to do some rumination.
Okay, no, that's fine. And also on our socials, we're gonna post some links and stuff because like Refinery has a series with Black female friendships, and I think it's really beautiful. So we could post on that, and you know, some articles and stuff. But like in one quote that I have from this article is, in a world that is constantly against us, we have to rely on each other for strength, support, and love.
Amen.
Nobody knows the struggle and inner turmoil of a Black woman like another Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, that's just really real because I think it's important to have like obviously a diverse group of people around you. And I do have that. I'm very lucky for that. But I will say there's just something, and I love all my friends, but there's something that like Black women say that it makes you just think, and you're just like, damn. And then also it's just like, you know, you can talk about things to certain friends, but it's going to be really hard for them to understand if they're not in that lifestyle. And I know I have that problem with my friends, and I try not to get mad or angry when they don't relate. I just have to remember like, okay, their experience is not my experience, and I can't get mad at them for that. But that also means it's important for me to have like that outlet. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't think about, is that when your friends don't want to like talk to you about certain things, it's not personal. It's just because like you probably can't relate and they need that outlet. So like sometimes I'll just tell my friends like, I want to go to this Black party. I haven't been around Black people in a while, and I want to be in this all Black party. And like, that's just what it is. Like, and that's not no shade to them. It's just like, I love you guys, but it's not the same. And yeah, I just think it's important for people to realize like your friends have different cultures for a reason, and it's important for them to be immersed in that culture and be around people in that culture. So with that being said, I guess I'll talk about like some important aspects of my life where I feel like the Black women have really stepped up. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes right now. Okay, so like growing up, obviously a lot dealing with this podcast, being like the only Black people growing up in like all white schools. That was really important because a lot of the times it was just me and my sister in classes or basically like anything. And I'm really lucky to have like my sister and someone who is like me, in that aspect, because it's like hard moving from a all Black school to an all white school, and I cannot imagine doing that alone. So I'm very blessed that I have a twin sister that's also you know, the same nationality and gender as me to experience that with. A lot of times like growing up in like history class, which is, I don't know why kids say the things they say in history, y'all, because white people be staring at you in history class when you talk about slavery, and you're like, why the hell are you staring at me? Like, has that happened to y'all?
History class. It was also like English class, all these other things.
I hated February in high school.
It's Black History Month.
Yeah, it was Black History Month, but that's when they decided to usually talk about slavery or all the stuff.
It's just like, I don't know. So it was just, that was really hard. And I have a best friend today, who sometimes I forget I met in high school. Just we have such a big, strong friendship. Her name's Bacola. She lives in the city. And there's just like a lot of times where I've had a hard time, and I've talked to her, and she really like just changes my mindset. And like recently she said something, like I was talking about someone that wasn't really treating me great, and she said something. What did she say? She was like, honestly, you're like one of the greatest people I know, and if this person doesn't see that, then this is stupid. And it just like clicked. I was like, wait, you're right. Because sometimes you forget, like people like, you know, make you feel bad about yourself or whatever, and it's like, wait, no, actually, like this is true.
Yeah.
And then like so much of that, Janae, you say stuff that I'm like, damn, Janae be low-key dragging me by my edges, but in a good way. But you said something too, that there's something, you said a couple things. So recently you were like, oh, like, do you really want someone that was really into you?
Yeah.
And then said you talk too much once and doesn't like you. And I was like, damn. That's so true. And when you said it, I don't know, something just clicked that I was like,
I remember
wow.
this because when you were telling me about this situation, I was like, do you really want someone who you do one thing that they don't like and they're just basically like,
okay,
no.
bye for yeah,
exactly. Like you want someone who's going to be like, oh, that annoyed me, but you're fucking great. So whatever.
But it didn't click, and that makes sense. But it didn't click because I was in my feelings or whatever, and I was like, wow, this makes sense. Like, I don't really have that epiphanies with my other friends. I mean, I do, but just not to the point where it's like blunt and relatable. And it's like, okay, I actually need to hear that to like kind of like glow up. And then the last thing besides personal life and like family and stuff, work. We'll get into the next episode, but just work, the importance of like Black people at work. Janae, obviously, we met at our first job together, has been life changing because it's like hard to go to a company and be like one of the only Black women there, and like, no, it's not relatable. You're like the only one on your team of like 15, and literally there's no Black people, no Black women, and you're just like, damn, am I weird? Am I struggling? And then it's like good to have that outlet. And also a lot of times that I've been able to get opportunity has been from Black women. I'm really blessed. Like my first internship was at BT, and y'all, I should have not gotten this internship. I bombed the interview. I did so bad. I was like, I don't know, 19. They were like, who's our competitors? I blanked. I was like, honestly, y'all, I don't know. The girl was, I don't know, y'all, I bombed it. This girl, my supervisor, was like, it's okay. Like, just like write this really good follow-up email, showed me around, and I got it. And she really like pushed me that internship. And that was really like the launch of like my career of how I got more internships. And I'm just so thankful that she was like, I just saw something in you, and like you did radio, and I saw this stuff, and I was just like, thank God, because I did terrible. And even like my current job, the reason I got this job is because I reached out to a Black woman on LinkedIn, and she has the same like name similar to me, and I just reached out and I was like, hey, we have the same name, LOL. I'm really into comedy. Like, you work at this company I want to work to. Like, can you like tell me a little bit about it? And then she took a further step and like sent my resume in and like referred me. This girl does not know me, and I ended up getting an interview from that. And I'm just like really blessed that she was able to do that, because I don't think a lot of people would do that. So I just think it's important to have those like Black friendships in like any aspect of your life. That's my skill.
And I think it's like also the fact that I just don't think other people are going to look out for you in the same way that Black women will look out for you.
That's 100% true. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like that woman didn't know you that well, but she was willing to help you. And I feel like that's just, I don't know. I just think
she just understands, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm. And I think there's just a part of other Black women that just like really want to see other Black women thrive.
Yeah.
Just because we know shit's hard.
Yeah. And another thing that I love about Black women is kind of how, when I look at my relationships with my Black friends, and especially my Black female friends, they're very blunt. They're very honest. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, you know, one of my best friends, Alexis, shout out to you.
Hey, Alexis.
Hey, girl. We met before high school because our dads were friends. But we met like one time, and then she was visiting her dad in upstate New York, and she's originally from Atlanta. So she went back down to Atlanta. And then eventually, when we were high school age, she moved back up to upstate New York. And we connected again just from bumping into each other, being the few Black kids in a mostly white school, started hanging out, and then eventually realized, oh my God, you were that little girl from way back in the day who I was hanging out with. And from there, yeah, it's so like a crazy story. And from there, we weren't the closest, but eventually, like, we just ended up getting really close towards the end of high school because I joined this, like the minority group in my school called Emoja. And it was like basically where all the Black kids got together after school to just like.
Y'all had a Black group at school?
Yeah, we did not have that. Damn, we
didn't have that shit.
We did. And she and I like were some of the leaders in the group, and we just got really close one year because we were doing a lot of stuff for that. And I think that throughout, and then later on we lived together for a year. Or for more than a year, like a year and a half we lived together.
Yeah, it was more.
Yeah. And throughout that year and a half, she's always been like one of my friends that I know I can go to, and she will be 100% honest with me. And she is that person who like, she'll just ask you question after question after question after question. And then next thing you know, you're like analyzing yourself, like what? And she also taught me how to just kind of relax and just kind of be like, she has this attitude where it's kind of like no plans, but open to everything. And that is something that I do not have, that I'm trying to adopt. But she has just been like a really big force in being honest with myself and being open. So like for that, I will always, always respect her and love her. Spiel over. Spiel over. I'm gonna come back to more friends, but I feel like I talked a lot. So
for me, I noticed how important it is.
Are you getting emotional, Rachel?
No, I'm not.
We gonna make you cry.
We can't have Rachel cry.
No, not again.
Everyone else is gonna cry.
No, I'm not. I'm strong. I noticed how important it is to have, female friends in my life, especially Black female friends. And growing up, I had a lot of siblings, so friends weren't really that important to me, to be honest, growing up. But being in my 20s and living on my own and just needing someone to talk to and, you just talk to them about like what's going on in my life and like what I can do if I feel stuck or like I don't know what to do, help me. And just in general, them being able to understand who I am as a person, because I know I'm not like the easiest person to figure out, and I have the most amazing friends. Even if it's like a close, small group of friends, like I'm grateful for them. Like Janae, Amari. Honestly, like I'm so happy I met them. And I think that everyone needs someone that they can talk to, someone who's not going to judge them, and also not a yes man. You need someone to be honest with you and tell you like, hey, like what you're doing is not okay. But also someone who's also going to support you. And I think that is very a key qualities you need in a friend.
Yeah. And I'll definitely piggyback off of that, because recently I was going through something, and I've kind of had this epiphany lately where it's like my entire life I thought that the important things were, getting the job, and then finding love and finding a guy. And that's all supposed to happen in your early or mid 20s. And then from there, kind of friendships come and go, because people are constantly doing things, moving and shaking, things change. So, friendships, they're here, they're great, they're gone, that's okay. But recently I've kind of realized that I think I've put way too much stock in those things, and that I need to like go back and really focus on growing my friendships. And I had a situation recently where like Rachel was just there for me like all day. And it was just like such an emotional day for me. But it was like in the past, I would have relied on someone who I was closer to in a relationship with. I would have relied on someone who I felt like, was either my parents or my man or something like that. But in that moment, it was like, friendship is all I have. Friendship is what I need right now.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, Mary, one more thing. Also having friends who show up for you.
Yeah.
Like I learned that like, okay, if my friends are showing up for me when I need them, I need to do the same. And I think that's also very important, because there are a lot of friends I had in the past who like, I was always there doing things, but
when it came time for you,
when it was time for me, it was like,
they weren't there.
I had this, had that. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But these group of friends that I have today, they're always there. Always there. All right.
Yeah. I always, when like thinking about that, I always remind myself that people make time for the things that are important to them.
Yep.
So if that other person, I've had that in a lot of my, past relationships, is where like I'm always having to extend myself to that person, or I'm always having to I'm always asking how that person is doing, and they're never considering how like I am doing internally or checking in on me. And I think those are the relationships that I've kind of just like walked away from, because it's not actually a relationship. It's just me being that person for them and not getting anything in return. But kind of like what Janae was talking about earlier about, focusing on your female relationships. And I was kind of the same way growing up. It was like, I need like a guy or someone to kind of be that for me. And as I've gotten older, I've put more emphasis on specifically more on my Black female relationships. And I've been looking as I've gone through the dating cycle and realized how utterly just tragic the whole events are that happened. I look at my grandmother, who was married to my grandfather at one point, but, you know, got divorced, and she's in her 80s, and she's been, for most of her life, she's been single. And I just continuously look at her and was like, she is so happy because she's been able to create all these really, really deep friendships. And she's told me that, you know, her platonic relationships are the things that have actually carried her through. Wow. And yeah, so I look at her and I'm like, okay, yes, I would like to find someone, but if I don't, I have enough people in my life where I think I could actually move forward happily. Because like, yeah, I mean, I think, growing up in Syracuse, which is very white, I was lucky enough to have 2 really close Black girlfriends growing up. And we do everything together. And although we kind of split up in junior high when things got a little bit complicated, and I don't think we, you know, it was what, like the mid 2000s, I think we were each kind of coming into our own individuality, and we didn't necessarily understand what the other one was going through. Mm-hmm. So rather than like, we did the opposite. Rather than being there for each other, we kind of separated ourselves, because I think it's hard trying to figure out yourself and then trying to figure out someone else that you're not necessarily sure how to. Okay. But I still look back on that time and I'm like, wow, had I not had those 2 girls in my life, like I think I would have been a very different person. And I think there are just like specific women in different stages of my life that I've leaned on. So like as a kid, it was those 2 girls. In high school, not in high school, but in college, I was a part of this Black group on campus called Power. And the women in that group just like kept me sane. And they're like my favorite people in the world, even though we don't talk all the time. And then, you know, being in my early 20s and being out in the workforce, it's really been like Janae and like Rachel who have like really helped me through. And I always think about last year when there was this time where I like just like ghosted everyone. I like just like disappeared. And I think it was Janae that texted me. She's like, I know that you're going through something. I don't know what it is, but like when you're ready to talk to me about it, like I'm here. And that just completely just like melted my heart, because I don't think anyone had ever just picked up on something like that and been like, I don't know, like when you're ready to tell me how to be there for you, I will be there for you.
Yeah, just so
that time.
Yeah. Just to like share my perspective on that, like I had a really other close friend that, you know, occasionally also like went through stuff emotionally, and just kind of like realizing that, because I grew up my entire life with no knowledge of anxiety, no knowledge of depression. I was like really, really cocooned from that. And the only kind of trauma that I was, shown, I'm losing the word, but the only trauma that I knew was racial trauma. So then coming into the world and then seeing that there are so many other people who struggle with so many other things emotionally, spiritually, physically, was just kind of like, wow, that's crazy. And also, and I had this point where I would like get mad at this other friend when they would go through stuff and then just kind of like shut me out. I'd be like, what is going on? But then I had this moment where it was kind of like everyone goes through things differently, and you can't always expect people to open up and tell you everything, right? Mm-hmm. Like you just can't. You just kind of gotta be there for people and let them know, hey, I'm here. It's fine. And
yeah, no, that's really amazing, because I don't think a lot of people would have done that or know how to do that. I think it's a mixture of like are hitting the mid-20s now, where you just start to realize things. Like I've had that realization too. Like I used to get mad at people who didn't want to do the things I want to do, or like have the same energy level. And it's like, okay, one, like everyone has different things going on in their life. You just have to accept that. And the way people handle things is just different from you.
Yeah.
And I think the more we're like open and empathetic and know that, it's just gonna be more positive in the end. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you can't get mad at your friend for dealing with this thing, but you can say, hey, you know, I have a friend, Ellen, who actually a Black woman we met on Twitter because like we just love the same podcast. But Ellen is so amazing, y'all. I will just do a quick shout out for her. She has a Beyonce podcast. Ooh, it's called Here Are My Edges. Check it out, y'all. Wow. Ellen, this girl is so great. Like the way we met is because our favorite podcasts are The Read and Guys We Fucked. So Guys We Fucked, the girl Crystal was on it, and they had retweeted her, and she was like, "Oh, these are my two favorite podcasts." And I was like, "What?" Because Guys We Fucked is really white, y'all.
Yeah, it is. But it's still good.
It's still good. So I was like, I thought it was the only Black person who listened. So I was like, oh my God, this girl listens to both. We like started messaging each other on Twitter. We were like, let's create this like the Read fan based podcast group. It blew up. She like comes to New York here and there, and like we've like hung out in person. She's honestly amazing. Why did I start this? Damn, y'all. I'm sorry.
Tangent.
Wait. Oh, I know why. So so we have this group chat from the group. And then we have one girl who, you know, unfortunately is dealing with a lot, and she has had a lot happen to her in the past. And like the way Ellen approaches it, it's like, she listens and she goes, okay, how would you like me to support you? Would you like to just rant and talk about it and you want me to listen, or do you want me to give advice, or do you want me to just say I'm here for emotional support? And I was just like, I'm like paraphrasing it, but like the way she said it, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. Like, cause sometimes we think, oh, like someone just wants to rant. Mm-hmm. When in reality they want us to say something, or sometimes it's the opposite. They just want to rant and we're just saying stuff, and it's like, wait, they don't want to hear stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just like really important. I think, it's great that we're like starting to realize that now. Mm-hmm. And like, I think we're going to see the benefit of that in the future.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like, specifically for me, and like when that point in time happened, I think that was also like, I think that was like a little after like Rachel and I really like became friends, or we had met. And then after I went through that, I was like, oh, like Rachel and I are really friends, because she didn't know me all that well. But like when I got out of my thing, she was like right there waiting for me too. Mm-hmm. So it's just like having these different relationships in your life where it's like, I don't have to always be in contact with this person, but like, I know that they're there, and we're going to be there for each other. And I feel like half the time it's just like knowing you have people who care for you like that on like that deep of a level is just like very reassuring, because I feel like life can feel very isolating and just lonely. So I don't know, just having that kind of built-in support has like really helped me, specifically over like the past like year and a half, 2 years. Yeah.
I think we should move on to our next segmento. Mm-hmm. Rachel, what you got cooking for us?
Time to talk mental health. Hello everyone. It's Rachel. On this segment, Time to Talk Mental Health, I'm going to give you a few tips on how to deal with a friend who has a mental illness, or just in general how to communicate with your friend who may be going through something. So the National Alliance of Mental Health posted an article titled Maintaining Healthy Friendships with Mental Illness. One is self-awareness. It's important to know and understand your diagnosis, but also bear in mind that you are a unique person. Mental illness manifests differently based on the individual, so it can be helpful to know your specific symptoms, triggers, and warning signs. Having this awareness gives you insight into how your condition can impact your friendship. For example, could your condition cause you to misinterpret social cues or prompt anxiety when you see your friend with another close friend? 2 is communicate. Friends may trigger your symptoms despite their good intentions. For example, your friend may want you to meet their new friend and invite him or her for a coffee date with you without asking. If you live with an anxiety-related diagnosis, specifically social anxiety, this seemingly harmless and kind gesture by a friend may actually trigger your anxiety. And I want to point this out, how important it is. Janae will always do this. If we are going out, Janae would always let me know, like, hey, I have a friend who wants to come. Can I invite her? And I'll be like, sure, it's fine. I think it's important to like let your friend know, like, you want them to meet someone, whether you know if they like have anxiety or not, or if they're being uncomfortable with, having that other person there. Because I know for me, I'm not really good at meeting people at the first time. So I appreciate you doing that.
Oh, thanks.
I think that's really important. So for anyone out there, if you have a new friend, you want your friend to meet, just, let them know if it's okay. It doesn't hurt to ask. And lastly, support one another. All friends need support at one time or another, even if your friend does not have a mental illness. There will be times you can provide support as well. Helping others is shown to make people happier and can even help reduce symptoms. If your friend does have a diagnosis of their own, this similarity could bring you closer together. You can each discuss your symptoms and try coping mechanisms together. For example, you can attend a support group together or help each other seek therapy. As always, just support one another, show love. It's not always about you, so take time to think about the other person. And so sometimes they don't do it intentionally. Sometimes it's just how we react to when we are going through something. So always be mindful of your friends, family, whoever, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful and informational. Thank you, Rachel. And just to top it all off, it's my segment, Talking with Janae. Kia recently created a new Facebook page.
I did, yeah. It's still based off the Read group, but I'll just give y'all a little background on it. So me and Ellen, the friend I just said, we were obsessed with the Read, made this Facebook group. It got to like 15,000 people, y'all. It was insane.
Wow.
But then you realize that 15,000 people don't always get along. There was hella drama and shit. I was like, y'all, you don't pay my bills. Y'all be messaging me and shit. I'm at work and they be like, this girl said this, girl. I don't care. Wow. So anyway, we had to just like cut the group down. So it's still a fan group, but it's only like 500 people. Wow. It was really entertaining. I still love it, but there's some great people in that group. But yeah, I posted about our podcast in that group. So,
and then we had a lovely young man whose comment I can no longer find. So shout out to you. I really tried to find it, but I couldn't. Yes, please. I
want to know what the comment is.
But basically, he was just asking us more personal questions about our relationships with our families. Which I thought could be interesting to, for us to basically just shout out our families.
Okay.
I'll start. Back in my day, like Amari mentioned having two Black female friends that she like kind of grew up with and could go through things with when she was younger. I didn't have that. I just had Gerald, Jasmine, Mom and Dad, Paris and Dern. Those are like my rocks, I had friends I was liked, but I didn't have any like close friends. Mm-hmm. So for me, a fun Friday night was watching Moulin Rouge on the couch with my mom and painting our nails and having a smorgasbord of food. So like my family, my rocks, I love them. Got new additions. Melissa, shout out. Baby Olivia, I love you. You're the best thing in the world.
She's so cute.
And then another like shout out I just want to give our non-Black friends and non-female friends. I mean, Jelani, best friend, for a very, very, very long time, close confidant, has really, really just helped me see the world and see outside of the bubble of Syracuse. And then also Kaylee Carroll and Kaylee Sheridan. I love y'all. We have grown so much together. So
that was nice. Damn, I found it.
Yeah, I was having a really hard time finding it.
Wait, I don't know if my iPad is just old. Yo, I think Facebook has way too much money for this shit not to work. I'm sorry. I'm getting mad.
It's fine. We don't,
because I'm clicking on it and it's not working. Yo, Facebook, get your stuff. No, it's here.
I should have screenshotted it, really.
I don't get why Facebook is... Because, like, you'll click on something and Facebook will, like... You'll click on the notification and Facebook won't bring you to the... I'm literally clicking on it.
So does anyone else want to talk about their family ties?
Like I said before, growing up, it was just me and my siblings. They were my close friends. Just shout out to my sisters. I have a lot. Sarah, Rebecca, Deborah, Jennifer, my niece Melanie, my nephew Gabe, my little brother Josh, and yeah, that's about it. I love that. We learn a lot from each other.
Yeah. Shout out to Drs. Andrea and Brian Pollard.
Wow, she had to put that doctor in there.
Oh, I found it. I found a comment, y'all. Sorry.
It's okay.
I found it. Here you go.
Wait, am I still doing my shout out?
Yep, do your shout out, girl.
Okay, yeah. So shout out to my parents and to their other wonderful offspring, Bree. They were and are my rocks. My sister and I always joke that we're probably too close to our parents, like closer than the average American adult. But growing up was, every Friday night was movie and pizza night. And I loved hanging out with my parents more than I liked hanging out with a lot of other people. And to shout out the other relationships in my life that I did mention today, Chris, he is my best friend. I didn't mention Roxy, who's like another great Black female friendship that I really appreciate. But my non-Black friends too, Audrey, Brooke, Molly, a whole bunch of others. But I don't think I tell the people in my life enough how much I love them. But I love all of you guys.
Oh. Wait, did you want to read the comment or no?
Oh,
sorry.
I'll just say shout out. I'll just say shout out to Terry Douglas for commenting and asking questions. Oh, and there's actually one big friend in my life that I forgot. My best friend, Sarah.
Did you forget Sarah?
Sarah, I'm so sorry. Don't be mad at me, girl. Like, I was just running my mouth over here. Sarah, I love you forever and ever. You taught me how to work hard and get jobs. That's my bae. That's my day one, A1. Hey, I can't wait to see you at the end of the month. Okay, I'm done, Kia.
Okay, so we're just shouting out like family members and other friends. Okay. I mean, kind of like based on what you said about how you thought like your job and like relationship was really important stuff. Not that it's not, but I think growing up, like I always had a tough time figuring out where I fit in, not just in like society, but like what I like and stuff. And my sister was really good at sports. I wasn't. She was good at academics. I wasn't. So basically I have no skills. Anyway, so I went to college and I really like found myself. I'm really blessed for that experience and the people I've met there. And I started doing radio. I loved it. Went to media. And I always was like, I don't have I was a late bloomer in the relationship world, but I was like, I relationships not ever really going my way, so I put a lot of emphasis in my career. So I was like, my friends can have these relationships, but I'm the one that's going to excel. I'm the one that's going to have the best career, the best whatever. And so I put a lot of emphasis on that. And then, this year really took a turn. I ended up losing my job. And it just like really was a life-changing experience, to the point where it made me like realize that, a job is really not the most important thing. And since that experience, I've definitely learned a lot and I put a lot of energy into other things and realized that that's not the end all be all. And from that experience, like I really am so blessed that I had friends and family to rely on, because I really don't even see how I could have gotten through that time without it. I really don't. And I remember thinking like, wow, this would be so much easier if I had a partner to rely on and something, because it's like, okay, I have this emotional support. But then I was like, wow, I'm really, really blessed that I have family and friends to rely on. And that was just like a tough time that I'm really thankful for. So, y'all know who you is. I really do love all my friends and family. There's a lot of y'all. I guess friends, like, my day ones, Kelly, Alex, Sarah, my bestie, Mackenzie from high school, my friend Will, who is a Black man. He listens to this podcast.
Wow. Hi, Will.
Yeah, he's really great. He always has like a unique perspective on things. Pretty dope. And y'all know who you are. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anyone.
It's okay. You always think you don't have a lot of friends, and then you like start to list them and you're like, well, damn.
Yeah.
Please don't be offended if I forgot you.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
Just know I love y'all and I appreciate y'all supporting us, and I really do. I really appreciate anyone that listens to this podcast. Like, it's really amazing.
Seriously, Black or otherwise, anyone who listens to this podcast. I was surprised actually, because I was at my sister's birthday party last month, and my cousin came up to me and he was like, I listened to your podcast. And I was like, what? People listen to my podcast?
People be tweeting us too.
Yeah. It's getting exciting, but
no, it's crazy. Like when I moved, the first thing I got from a bunch of people was like, wait, what's going to happen to the podcast? And I was like, don't worry, we got you.
But I think that that's it for this episode of the So-Called Oreos podcast. Thanks for listening. If you have a close Black lady friend, give her a hug, a kiss, but don't be creepy. And follow us on social media everywhere at So-Called Oreos. And you can email us at SoCalledOreos@gmail.com. You can listen on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, and Google Play. And please remember to rate, subscribe, and leave a review. Thank you.
Bye.